respond to any questions that are put in the chat if you don't want your face to be shown. We
And
live? Oh, hello, everybody. Welcome to not CLCI Live. We're doing Lunch and Learn today. And during Lunch and Learn, we will be answering your business and marketing questions. We're here with the level 2 students who are about to graduate today as well. Quick introduction. My name is Anthony. I am the project director with CLCI. That means I just do a lot of stuff in the background, but I have good amounts of experience doing marketing with Brooke as well. And my expertise is in copywriting and copy editing. Brooke, who are you?
Hi, everybody. I am the Chief Strategy Officer here at CLCI. I'm also a business and marketing strategist. I have a large background in both entertainment and in marketing and business strategy. I'm also a coach myself. And I've helped a lot of other coaches and worked with a lot of other coaches. So I'm here to assist you with any questions you may have.
Mm-hmm. And of course, when we're answering these questions and having our discussions, we are not the final arbiters of knowledge. If you guys have your own answers or your own feedback to someone else's question, feel free to join in. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say.
And also anybody out there watching, because this is live, feel free to ask questions in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. We always want to hear your feedback, input, and all of that good stuff. And
all right.
we may begin now.
Yeah, has got a question for us. Let's see, Jenna and Lana.
Jenna and Lana. Is it Lana or Lana? Lana? Okay. Who wants to go first?
Oh, so you want a marketing question? All right, let's talk about that. What are you finding the trends in marketing lately? Where are most coaches having the best success? Is it IG, Facebook, TikTok? Don't tell me all the above.
I don't know about success, but I do see trending is coaches on TikTok. Actually, I specifically try not to look at coaching content on TikTok, and yet somehow, even earlier today, it got like filtered in me. There was like a parenting coach on there who showed up on my For You page. And essentially how I see people use TikTok is they will like play the role of both client and coach in a humorous way to give examples of coaching. And then, you know, that can filter in, they'll have like a link tree or like links in their bio, and then that leads to their services. That's what I see trending. I don't know exactly how successful that is, but it's where I see a lot of coaches get a lot of viewers from that kind of stuff.
So Anthony, that is, I don't mean to cut you off, but Brooke, that is such a cute idea. I love that, Anthony. Thank you for sharing that.
Also, I mean, you might kill me here, but I would tell you that you can have success utilizing, I mean, I've seen coaches be successful at almost every platform, but those coaches are micro niche. Those coaches are speaking directly to an audience. They are participating. They have their own technique. I know a company that only works with micro niche coaches they do challenges that is specifically their thing. They do Facebook challenges very specifically, and they run ads around it and all of this stuff. But then, so it really, I would bring you back to who is your ideal client and where can you reach them, and where not only can you reach them, but where are you going to be able to effectively sort of enroll them in whatever it is that you are offering. And that can be across a plethora of platforms, because I've also known coaches who came into this with, you know, several $100,000 following on TikTok, or $1,000 person following on TikTok, and they were frustrated because they could not leverage that following into paying clients. And we had a whole conversation around it. Well, you've been giving away your content for free, so you've got, you know, a few 100,000 people that aren't used to paying you for things. So getting them to transfer into that mentality of somebody who's going to now pay you for what you've been giving for free can sometimes be a hurdle. So it almost is not detrimental to you if you don't have a huge following already somewhere. Building it from scratch and then building it around people who are going to actually reach in their pocket and pay you is, I think, a critical piece in this. So
that is also the critical thing about TikTok, because people are looking at stuff for maybe 10 seconds, 30 seconds, but they're looking for entertainment.
Right.
You're not providing a service to them really, other than just some entertaining content. So some people who do have a lot of, you know, traction on TikTok, they're not seeing that converted into paid customers. So that's
I
something.
have absolutely heard of people buying from TikTok and buying lower cost offerings from TikTok. Also with Instagram, where it's typically I would suggest that the entrance sort of cost that you're asking somebody is probably a little bit lower, and then you're going to probably upsell them to something more substantial once that you've sort of proven yourself in that, whatever that lower cost offering may be. If that makes sense to you. Did that help, or did that just make it, entirely worse?
No. I think they're both very good points. Talking about strategy, talking about your niche market. The truth is we're probably all going to have to market on all of the platforms Not
necessarily. In fact, my best advice would be not to to start. Because what I would say is if you and I were working together with one another, and we can do this now if you wish, who is your ideal client?
My clientele that I work with are all entrepreneurs. I do only entrepreneurs. I do career.
Okay, so what kind of entrepreneur though? What is this? I mean, what are they hiring you for?
I work with all types of entrepreneurs. My least favorites are those in like biotech. I'm not a subject matter expert in that area, but no, I work with entrepreneurs, everything from travel to cosmetics to logistics to food.
So is that, and that's something that you have that clientele already for you, right?
Been doing it for years. Yes.
As a coach?
Yes.
Okay.
Coach and a consultant. Yeah.
And consultant. So there's a marriage there. May I ask, how did you start out? Who was your first client?
Oh, I can't tell you. I don't know. Well, it would have been manufacturing. When I got in the business, I specialized in manufacturing.
Okay.
And that was a good, older than you, 1998 or so.
Okay. How did you market to them? How did you get that first client?
Actually, I was hired as that position to go out. So my funding was provided through an employer.
Okay. And then how did you grow your business to its current state?
Good old fashioned boots on the ground. I think that so often we forget the value in knocking on doors, literally knocking on doors. I can remember my husband driving me around in the rain, leaving information on front doors.
And so my next question would be, how much of social media was involved in all that?
Oh, I did not get involved in social media until probably 2008.
Okay.
Facebook maybe got started and ramping up.
From there, yeah.
And how much do you utilize social media now?
I very rarely get out of my car and hang things on the door. Does that tell you anything? So everything is, there's still a great value in relationship building. And we talked a little bit about this in class earlier today. I am never going to sell short the luncheon, the meeting people and being, whether it's an electronic business card, the chip on your fingernail, or the card out of your wallet. There's still value in that.
Absolutely. I would say a tremendous amount of value. It's there's a lot more trust in a face-to-face interaction than there is in a social media interaction. And the reason that we are inclined to go towards video and get our faces out there as coaches and go towards, even live interaction like we are doing now. Oh, we have somebody who's participating too. The reason that we go that way is to build trust and also to create that simulation of a connection that you would have face-to-face, because there's so much out there in the realm of social media. Mind you, us as a company, CLCI, we use Instagram, we use TikTok, we use Facebook, we use LinkedIn, we use all of those, YouTube, we use several platforms. Did we start there? No. When we began, we were strictly on Facebook. Right. And then once we had Facebook in a solid place, we grew that to the next thing. And then we grew that to the next one. And we sort of branched out. Mind you, we do list ourselves in as many places as possible. And I would recommend that to anybody.
And here's the thing about social media and because the inclination is you got to be out there in all places at all time. It turns into a full-time job.
Yes.
whether like you just have to worry about your own business and the coaching, but now you have a whole nother job to worry about, which is marketing on different social media platforms that have their own quirks and like, things that go with, like Facebook advertisements and marketing on Instagram and marketing and paying for, TikTok views and things like that. So the reason why we advise new coaches start with one is because it can quickly become a time eater and a big time sink.
And also overwhelming as well sometimes for people. Also, just so you know, hi, Doctor. I don't want to make sure I pronounce this right. I think it's Dr. Tajuana Ross. And she said, I'm biased. I teach my clients how to build 6- and 7-figure coaching businesses by leveraging LinkedIn. So she uses LinkedIn primarily. But I mean, that's the one thing is figuring out that one single. That's why I always say start with one wherever your client is. Where is your client? Because there's really no sense in putting a lot of time and energy where your client is not. But every platform can be utilized very well. And that includes even things we're not talking about here when we say social media. Also, things like Google searches, Google ads, all of those are very important things that can come into play. And SEO, but SEO is a long-term game. There's lots of elements that can get very overwhelming very quick, but we always try to recommend to start sort of in one place, find your expertise, your comfort there, and then grow from that. And then I have a hand. We have a hand, Anthony. Lana.
Hi, thanks so much for bringing your expertise today to our class. So what is a good point to start changing those like free people on like my Facebook page I have a private Facebook group. Actually, it's not my Facebook page, it's a private Facebook group to actually giving them something or selling them something or what is this? Is there a few steps in there or is it just, hey, I have coaching and sign up for my free one session and blah, blah, or is there something else that I should be doing? And I'm afraid I might be one of those people that's giving away too much. So I'm,
It can be.
You've already got a group of people who will listen to you. That's sometimes the hardest step for coaches. So
not a large group. It's a, but it's a group. I'm growing it. Yeah.
So typically when people even spend a little bit of money, when they're willing to just open up their wallets and spend just a tiny bit of money, that sort of primes them to being okay with spending more money for, packages or long-term coaching sessions in the future.
Do you have is this group, are they interactive? Do they respond when you post?
We're working on that one. I mean, yes, but not a lot yet. Not a lot. Just every so often spattering here and there.
Because I would almost ask you a couple questions in this space, and that would be, is there something you could offer that would be like a lower cost kind of offering? And would it be something that you could even put it out to them? How much would you guys pay for X, Y, or Z and feedback and see what they say, see what the feeling. Obviously you want to sort of know what give them. Maybe it's what would you pay at this amount? I mean, maybe not, don't do it that way. It's a little bit too greedy. And
I think we talked about this
for them. Yeah.
We talked about anchoring Brooke on our
live.
I
just said we could be anchoring them and it could be like, there's some.
Because then my mind would be like, I'd pay nothing for it. Can I get it for free?
Right.
Well, and that's what anchoring them with a little bit of price might be a good thing. It's like, what would you pay for? Would you pay X amount for this? And then there's a lot of, I guess it's neuromarketing kind of tricks or pricing tricks that you can use, which is, but as Anthony said, probably the best thing would be anchoring them. And that's why starting out with just something that costs even a little bit, whatever that may be, could be tremendously helpful, because then you'll know if you're going to get some response to that. If you get zero response, then you flex into the next space. But just always know that don't feel like it's a failure or defeated. If you're not getting the response you think, it just means it's time to look at the strategy and maybe adjust and flex. And it's a learning opportunity. A lot of marketing is learning. I will tell you, every step of the way for me, even with new clients, old clients, I am learning the whole way. And that's why marketing has things like A/B testing and all of these things, because we build in failure. We build in failure because we know we'll learn from failure,
Well,
essentially.
in terms of getting that more engagement, is there something that I could do? I need to make it sound more sassy on my, I don't know what like, I'm not much of a writer, so I'm just.
Are you asking for it?
Am I asking for what?
For responses? Are you asking them?
Yeah,
questions?
I do. I ask questions, and then I do get like maybe one or two, I'm still, I don't have that many
No.
people, but ever.
So when they respond though, do you reply to them?
Yes.
Yes.
So that's it. Is that it?
So that's amazing. That's okay. And what
Okay.
you've done is by them responding, they've given you permission to interact with that space, right? So
Okay.
that right there is them saying, hey, I've done this. I'm interacting with you. I've got thoughts here. The next logical step for me, as a business person, would be to probably get more dive in with them, send them a personal message, a direct message, send them and sort of make that connection. The beauty of social is you have to be social on it. And a lot of what happens and a lot of that sell part happens in places you can't always see. And that's the moment that they start to interact with you, that's sort of them opening a door for you. Hi, Meg. Good to see you too. Meg Hoppert is here. That's an opportunity. Is every time that somebody posts a response, that's essentially an invitation for you to interact with them further. And you can, I wouldn't be scared to send them a direct message. I really wouldn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I have one other question. I don't know if I can jump the gun, but here, I've taken a couple marketing classes, and one was sort of as a life coach and one was as a public speaker. And the life coach had me niche down, whatever, to something very specific. But then the speaker one wanted me to broaden it back up to market that in a more kind of broad audience. Can you guys speak to that at all? And, it kind of blew my mind. And now I got sort of stuck in the middle and I didn't know which way to go then after that.
We will always, go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah, so I've had to do a bit of research on my part for a coach who both coached and wanted to do speaking stuff. What I found is that specific is better. I don't know exactly what you were told about, making it more generalized, but from what I could find in my research of like their speaking events and they want speakers and they will pay speakers for this, it has to be catered to the niche that you're working with.
You have to be the expert in that space, right? And I don't know anybody that's an expert on everything. Like that truly is. If you look at even, I look at the writers, I look at speakers, all of whom I respect, even TED Talks, all these things, they're speaking into an expertise and typically a very specific expertise that they have, right?
Right.
So I would absolutely recommend stay within that, whatever that expertise is.
Yeah.
Whittle down what you can talk about, what you can, and this can absolutely benefit you in coaching for 30 minutes straight and know what that is. But to do that, to get up on a stage and talk about something for 30 minutes, you have to have a degree of expertise in something. And so I would absolutely leverage that expertise and leverage it into your coaching space as well. The beautiful thing too, though, is you can speak into that expertise and what a lot of coaches who are speakers forget to do, even on podcasts, on all of these things, is to be prepared with an offering right out. I mean, you want to go into all of those things with an offering, with something that says, this is your next step. If you like this talk, if you like that, this is where you find me, and this is what I'm offering to you. That and have that in your pocket, because otherwise you're just speaking to a group of people that will never get in touch with you again, right?
In terms of that, right. In terms of that, like just along the YouTube lines, I mean, I noticed that all they ever say is press the like button if you like this. Is that the only thing that then I notice I'm thinking mostly of my kids' stuff that they watch, not, but then they go on, sometimes they're like, oh, then come to our new channel. And then there's some other things. Is that a good place to just say do the like button, or should I actually offer something more on my?
So what's the like button?
Oh, I was going to ask, what does the like button do?
Yeah. So what does the like button do? Yes.
Just let more people come, see my next one that I have that I put out.
Well, they're not going to see it if they don't subscribe to your channel.
Oh,
necessarily, right? So that's where that subscribe becomes very important, because the moment they subscribe, they will be alerted when your videos come up. And
Well,
so
no, you have to hit the bell icon too. That's why
Yeah.
Oh, there's like the like, the bell, the
yeah, like
right.
all of them. But essentially, but you're going to be in their feed, like you will now be present in their feed. And so that's one of the reasons that subscribe becomes so important, because it's sort of YouTube's way of capturing their information. On your website, we would say, as soon as they get there, find a way to get their email address so that you can market to them again. The whole point of this is, if somebody watches a video and disappears and just hits the like button, you'll probably never see them again. Not true with Facebook though, because every person that reacts to my videos on Facebook, I go in and you have the option to invite them to your page, and I will go through, boom, invite. And it takes some time, but it does that for you, which is fantastic.
Right. Okay.
So it's essentially each step of the way you're trying to capture their information so you can keep marketing to them, so you can continue to get your word out there and become a familiar face, build that trust, and eventually they convert. What's funny is when you say that the only time a lot of them only say like, subscribe, what you'll find though is you'll sometimes get brought into a webinar situation. There's what is the company that does it? There's a company that is just notorious. Mind Valley is notorious for this. Everything is a webinar, and the entire webinar is always an upsell to the next offering, which drives me bananas. I won't even watch the webinars. I'm like, I'm ouch. But I know they make a tremendous amount of money off of them because a lot of people sit and watch the webinars. Me as a marketer, I know better. I don't. I tune out. So it is that one will very specifically. They will lay it out, and a lot of YouTube ads will do this too. If by the end of this ad, I'm going to give you, $2,000 off this offering that would normally be worth, it's normally worth $3,000. I'm going to give it to you right now for $500 if you sign in by the end of this thing. And it's the same every time. And then, it's just, and so they apply that stress, that pressure of sign up for the next thing. This is the cost. You're getting it at a tremendous discount because you have this small window of time to sign up. And that is a much more hard and press sell, but they have essentially already asked for permission by virtue of the webinar to go, okay, I want to sell this to you. And most people are going to be like, okay, yeah, because they've given you something of value, enough of something of value that it makes you feel like the next thing's going to be even better and worth that $500. And do we do that as coaches? Yeah, absolutely we do. That's sort of what this process is we figure out something we can give to them for less, and then we say, hey, here's the next logical step in your family. If that's, then it's book a session with me. Let's have our intro session, and then from there it's like buy a package. And so there is that step up, but myself, I've never been somebody who's been the hard and pressed push kind of seller person. Even here at CLCI, we are that way. We have a philosophy that if we're excited about what it is that we're selling, that's really all we need to sell what we're selling.
Also, a few backlinks and blogs never hurt anyone.
Yes, right. No, absolutely. And that's what the value of connecting with other coaches, other therapists, other people who are in the field as you that have their own followings, but you guys are complementary. That's very important. You want to make sure your followings are complementary of one another. So if we have Jenna, she is coaching entrepreneurs. And then Lana, I'm not sure who your clientele is.
I work with compulsive eaters, stress eaters who want to be free from the food addiction. Yeah.
So two totally different realms, right? So you probably wouldn't co-market with one another, but there's probably somebody else in this room that's doing entrepreneurs.
There might small micro niche of entrepreneurs who also.
Yeah, there might be a micro, but it's going to be very small. But I also know a coach that does work with people with eating disorders, and so you would complement that group very well. Or even finding a therapist that does the same, and then being able to refer to one another. That's very valuable, and it is valuable in a social space as well. It's a great way to reach people that you may not otherwise reach, because the following of somebody else trusts this person, and if they go, you should also trust this person. That's works. Leaps and bounds.
You used a word I didn't recognize, backlink.
Yes, Anthony.
Oh, yes.
Explain what backlinking is?
Quick explain what a backlink is. This could happen in, a YouTube video or whatever content you put out there, but we'll use blogs just for now because it's all written word. So as an example of a real life example, Very Well Mind was like, hey, we need to figure out like who the best life, and now we're tooting our own horn now, but who the best life coach certification programs are. And they got a bunch of different schools, they evaluated them and said, here's the top list of 7. And we were on that list. So they linked, and they have a big following. A lot of people read Very Well Mind. They're very well respected, very trusted source of information, because the people who write the articles, they have degrees in whatever field it is that they're in, and it's reviewed by a panel of other people with other fancy degrees. Fine. So all those links go to our website. Google then sees all these people going from a well-respected website to our website, and they're like, oh, our website's very legit. Let's push them up in the SEO rankings. Here's what you do if you're ever in that situation. You create a backlink, which I then wrote a blog that, was celebrating, say, whoa, we're on a list. I linked Very Well Mind. Someone is at my door right now. Sorry. I linked on the blog to the Very Well Mind article. So now we have this reciprocal relationship where people who are reading our blog are going to their website, and those who are reading their website are going to our website. And Google likes that a lot. They like to know if your website is legit and valuable to people. And those kind of backlinks generate the traffic and the business. Now I need to go see who's at my door, so I'll be back.
Also want to say a quick hi to Nadine Rankin as well. So did you understand that concept of backlinking now? Yeah, there's one of the best.
I get it now. Thank you. Mhm.
Yes. So doing that and getting backlinks from organizations that are larger than yours, that are already sort of coming in. When you do a Google search, one of the things we talk about is what page you're on and where you're at on that page. So page 1, first page is ideally the best, because the odds of people clicking to the second page is so much lower, right? This is one of the reasons that we at CLCI run Google ads and have really put a huge focus on SEO, because we know that people don't really click to the next page. We want to make sure that we are coming up top. And if we're not coming up top for maybe a keyword, then we're coming up top for our Google ads that we're running. Always caution though, when I say Google ads is a remarkable tool, fantastic tool, especially given that Google owns, I think, 92% of the searchable market share now, is that there's a lot of steps that you have to take before you start running Google ads. You want to make sure that you're doing some very specific things, very correct. Otherwise, you're just throwing money in the air, because they can get very expensive very quick. And so you want to have conversion tracking and be offering something that tracks money being exchanged, and not a free offering in a perfect world. Also, a very good point brought up too by Meg Hopper. She said, would the likes and subscribes would be possibly for monetized accounts, and they're looking for more engagement because they're getting essentially return on investment by getting those likes and subscribes, because to get to a point where Google will monetize you and things like that, other companies, you have to have a fairly large following that has already been established in order for that to start to be a thing.
Yeah, at that point, your business is being a content creator rather than whatever service you're offering.
Exactly. And is there anybody else in this room with questions? Sometimes people are hiding because they're eating. Otherwise, it's just Anthony and I doing a tap dance up here. We can always share.
I can tell you who was at my door. It was no one.
Was it Amazon?
No, it wasn't anybody.
Oh.
Mama Cat was sitting outside, but that was it.
See, I knew we'd get a couple more faces. Hi, Ben.
Ben, you got your hand raised first.
Hello. So I'm curious. I'm brand new to this space, really, and I use coaching and kind of internally in my profession, but I'm interested in potentially kind of starting my own space. I have my own social media, but I'm curious what your thoughts are about, should I wait to kind of introduce the coaching opportunity and space in a business branded social media space, or should I go ahead and start with my own stuff and then eventually when I get out there, kind of switch over? Do you have thoughts about that?
I would say hit the ground running, throw it out there. But that's just me. I mean, I would always say, throw it out there. Don't be afraid to tap into your following and what you have. I think a lot of coaches get very wrapped up in wanting to present themselves in a very, perfect way and have this whole thing. But a lot of times I think the hardest part of this is putting yourself out there. And you've got a following and people that trust you already. All it needs to do is ask and see what happens, right? What's the worst that could happen there? And then that's getting you practice. That's getting you not only practice, but you're learning about what your clients want, need, and all of that gives you more information with how to market to them and how to build your business. So the more coaching you're already doing, the more information you're garnering for your own business or brand. So I think there's a tremendous amount of benefit to just starting, because that in itself is research for you.
Quick addendum as well. Your personal followers may not be your ideal clients,
right?
But they may know who your ideal clients is, or they may know people in their own networks that, would be able to help you. So I'm with Brooke, hit the ground running, because it's still beneficial if you have already, your followers on the personal level.
So you're saying that, so I'm a perfectionist, but you're saying I don't have to have a perfectly polished image to get started. That's what I'm hearing you say.
100%. Absolutely.
You can create that on the way, because I'm all about, being a perfectionist. But if it can happen, it will happen, but it doesn't need to start that way.
And honestly, if you want to be a perfectionist, what better way than to perfect whatever it is for your clients and learn what they need better. And that's where that research comes in. One of the, I took a class recently on disruptive strategy, and one of the coolest things they taught in this class was this concept of essentially the question is not only what the product you have and what you're offering, but figuring out the problem it's solving, what it is doing for that client, and then giving that product to them in a way that serves them perfectly. So it's not just that you're offering this product, it's that the way you offer it, the way that they can pay for it, the way they can meet with you, the way that they can serves their needs so well that there's no competition, right? And so that creating a product built around getting that job done, and not only getting the job done, but getting it done in a way that serves the needs of your client, so that they don't have to have any friction, any stress. It's so easy to hit that button because it serves their needs in an ideal manner. At that point, you've eliminated competition.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hello. Is it Jonanda? You're really quiet.
Oh my.
Now, there we go. There we go. I think we've got you now.
Okay. I want to know, Brooke, I'm from another country. I moved here in middle of January. And in South Africa, where we used to live, I was a counselor and a life coach, and I had a following on Instagram. So I started all of these things, learned a little bit about this new generation, how to do all of these things that you're pros in. Now coming here 6 months later, now I have my social security number and I can start working here, because the time difference from here to South Africa is just too much and it doesn't fit into my schedule, being a mom as well. How do I shift from that to here? Because my following at this moment is South Africans. Yes, a different thing. That's the first question I think I have. And then the second question that I have is, this feels very tiring when I'm hearing all of these things and what's the newest thing, and I have to make a video and I have to do this and I have to do that and TikTok, and I don't know. I don't know if I just feel a little bit, I don't feel old, but maybe my mind's just not there, and it feels like it's going to take all my time and not being able to really push into this passion that I have to work with people and see them, even if it's through Zoom. So those are my two questions.
So I have a couple of questions back for you. First and foremost, though, what I want to bring up is, for those of you who feel overwhelmed or stressed for whatever, so there's two things that can happen in this space. You can always leverage assistance, hire people to help you, hire experts, hire folks. And the more that you're willing to spend money, the less time, energy, and work it takes, right? And that works sort of inversely as well. So the more time, energy, the less money you have to spend. That being said, you'll always have to be involved to some degree because this is your business and your brand. But when you are sharing overwhelmed, you've got all these things, and then you also have a good following in South Africa. My question would be, do you know anybody in the States where you are now that also has a good following that trusts you?
I think not yet. I'm moving into that. I joined a lady that I'm going to do counseling for. She's got a business, my coaching space. So I'm going to do that. So I think through that, I'm meeting a lot of people because I mean, it's only 6 months. I've got an amazing neighborhood, but that's not the community. I want to join the ICF Virginia group. So I think through that also, but not at this moment. Yes.
Could you ask your following if they have any friends, family, anybody over in this area that they could maybe recommend or refer to you?
I can, but the US is huge.
It is huge, but that's okay though. I mean, you have a following, a group of people that trust you. The first place I always tend to start is with that group that trusts you, so that then you can then utilize that established trust and not just let go of it, right? Why lose all of that? Maybe there's a way to leverage this to your business's advantage. And so start to sort of tap in and think about that. Well, what questions can I ask? What kind of, have you put it out there that, hey, I'm looking for referrals in the States. If you guys have, if you know anybody that lives out here that's looking, please send them my way. And sometimes all it takes is asking. Right. But you have a large group of people that trust you. It may just be as much as asking them. My second question in this space is the feeling overwhelmed. Anthony and I can help with that, right? Can't we, Anthony? Oh, you're muted.
Anthony is feeling overwhelmed with that question.
Saying some good old fashioned coaching wouldn't hurt.
No.
So with the overwhelmed feeling with, the whole span of social media, and you were saying something about TikTok, you don't feel old, but it's a lot to, take in. I guess let's get specific. What exactly is making you feel overwhelmed?
I just think me not feeling comfortable with filming myself and doing all of these things. I'm fine with posting something inspirational or something that hit my heart during the day, or something that I learned out of a session, some insight or something. I'm fine with posting that, but putting myself out there and having to make a video of what I've just learned or what I've just experienced, I don't know. I'm not there.
I mean, no one is saying you have to make the video. There's plenty of marketing, avenues that don't require anybody to make videos or produce content in that manner. That just seems to be the most one that's shoved in our faces constantly 24/7.
What my question is, who is your ideal client?
Anybody that wants to work on self-love, self-esteem, self-sabotaging beliefs, identity, all of those things. I love it.
I'm not anybody though.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
I'm a person. I'm not just anybody. So if you had to, I guess let's just do that exercise. If you had to give a name to your ideal client, what is their name?
Maria.
Maria. How old is Maria?
I would say in the age of 25 to 40. Is that
as much as I wish I could be age 25 to 40, I am just 40. So how old is Maria?
I would have to get them earlier, but I'm also in my 40s, so I think it's never too late. So I would like that range. That seems nice to me because it's never too late.
How old is Maria?
Okay, but should be just one age, even in months and days. Okay, shiv it. Okay. 22 years old, 3 months and 4 days. And
Okay.
7 hours. 3 seconds.
I love it. So Maria is 22. What does Maria do for a living?
She took the first job that she could because of her background and not believing in herself, and she's just trying to make ends meet.
Okay, just trying to. Well, let's give her a job.
Now I'm talking about a person that she can do something amazing.
Well, what's she doing right now?
She's just doing what she can to get
Which
money.
is what? She's a waitress. She's working
What does
at
she
fast
put on her
food?
resume?
Waitress. She's a waitress.
Okay. Is she single?
She can be single, or she's in a relationship that she's in there because she thinks she can't do any better.
Okay, so we've got Maria. She's 22. She's in a relationship because she feels like she can't do any better.
She's in a job because she feels like she can't do any better.
She can't do any better. Okay. It's obviously she's been doing this. I can't do any better. I can't,
Yes.
but this is what I can do. So what suddenly has made her think, well, I need a coach so I can do better? Why is that happening for her?
Because she's just not happy where she is. There's something stirring in her that she's created for more.
Anthony, I didn't want to
Yeah,
interrupt.
so people, can go their whole lives unhappy and not changing, what's in their life. What is causing her to make that change? To make the leap from just accepting her lot in life to, I need to find a coach who can help me with this because I don't want to settle for less.
Maybe the frustration in her work and knowing that she loves to do something else, but she's stuck here. The frustration in her relationship, knowing she wants something more, but she's stuck here at this moment.
What is that something else? What is the something else with her work? And what is the something else with her relationship?
That there's something better. She realized, I don't know. What do you think?
No, but, okay.
What does better look like?
What is better? What is better?
What
Tell
would
me
a
about
better relationship look like? And what would a better job look like?
A better job would be something that she is passionate about, that something where she finds out her gifts. Maybe she doesn't know it yet,
So
but she finds out her gifts and her talents. And
what is she passionate about? What is Maria passionate about?
maybe she's not aware of it yet. She wants to find it out.
So she has no passion for anything.
No, doesn't mean she doesn't have any passion for anything. Good question. Maybe she has a passion working with people. So do I have to narrow it down like that?
Yes. Now this is what we call, so this is, we could, and if we have an article put in here too.
I'll throw that in there.
Micronaching, and I'm gonna sort of, because we don't have a lot of time yet. So if we were to keep going, and I can go on do this for 20 minutes, we would and I would drill you down. Like I would drill you down to figuring out what
I feel the drilling.
Yeah, figuring out what Maria is saying to herself at the end of the night, like what it is that has happened in her life. If maybe she's being a waitress and then she's not able to make ends meet. She's afraid she's going to lose her apartment. She's afraid that there's some kind of turmoil that makes her go, I can do better, right? That's just the nature, because we as people live in a state, we can be stagnant until something we call it an inciting incident happens. And then it wakes us up and we typically go, pardon my French, shit, I got to do something. Right. And so that's when we start to look out. And so what that is becoming, problem aware. Sometimes we're not problem aware, and we can exist unproblem aware. Once we become problem aware, the next step is to become solution aware. And that's when you present yourself as the solution. So as a coach, we can make people become problem aware by talking to them about what their problems are. So if Maria isn't sure what her problem is and you want to reach her, then your marketing is going to be about waking her up to what her problem is. But then the next logical step is going to be then presenting her solutions and convincing her that you are the best solution to her problem. And the reason that we make you get this narrow with it, the reason we take it this whittled down, is a good example we give so if you woke up tomorrow and you could not see, right? Very quickly, you know what your problem is. I can't see. Given the option, would you go to, a general practitioner to have it looked at? Would you go to someone that just generally treats everything?
I hear you.
Would you go to an ophthalmologist that has fixed sudden blindness 100 times? Or would you go to, your neighbor?
I hear you.
What are the options?
Yes.
You're going to go to the ophthalmologist that's helped people with this specific problem 100 times. And we can narrow that down even further. If you find out quickly, well, my blindness is being caused by an autoimmune disorder or something like that, we're going to get even further into that. You're going to go to somebody like a rheumatologist that can help, because you know each step of the way that person has expertise. And that expertise is in a single place. And that, what does that do? That makes you trust them so much. I trust them. My general practitioner, while I think he's fantastic, I go to him to refer me to specialists. If that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Thank you. I understand it.
So that's why we go narrow that down. And
the
beautiful thing, here's the beauty of it is when you know what we can do is we can go, where is Maria at? Well, Maria, she gets up every day. She goes to work, but when she's off of work, she's scrolling through TikTok. She's scrolling through Instagram. Well, that's where we'll find Maria then. We can get into her feed there. And so that's why we start to, and then we go, okay, wait, how do we get Maria's attention? Well, what does Maria need to hear? What is Maria feeling? What are Maria's solutions? And that's why narrowing it down to that micro niche is tremendously powerful tool.
Thank you so much. That really helped me a lot. I understand everything.
See, but right. But are you overwhelmed now? No. See.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it, Brooke. Thank you.
Lana.
Hey, Brooke. How about if we close the live stream here, since we have 2 minutes, and we'll take Lana's question on the other side of it?
Absolutely. Okie dokie. All right. Anthony, do you want to sign off? I've been babbling.
Goodbye, everybody. This has been Lunch and Learn with our level 2 students, soon to be graduates. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Go take our classes as well. You can be just like these people here. That's how you do a call to action, folks. And with that, we will sign off.
Bye, guys. And Meg, I will respond to your question in the chat.
I'll respond to Nicholas's question as well.
All right.